In India's digital capital, UPI was once king. But now, Bengaluru vendors are tearing down QR codes and saying cash only. Why are the same street sellers who embrace digital now running from it? Because behind every beep of a UPI payment, there could be a tax notice. This is Khatija and you're watching the Free Press Journal. Today we are decoding a crisis that's turning India's digital dream upside down. Why are Bengaluru's food stalls, corner shops and small vendors refusing UPI payments? Why are posters saying no UPI, only cash, spreading in the city that once led India's fine tech revolution? In this video, we'll explain how GST enforcement triggered panic, what UPI has to do with tax notices, how the Karnataka government is trying to calm things down, and why traders are now planning a strike. Let's get into the full story. Imagine you are at a tea stall in Koramangala. You take out your phone to pay via UPI and the seller says cash only. You look around and you see the same thing everywhere. QR codes missing, vendors refusing online payment. Why? Because it all started earlier this month when Karnataka's commercial tax department decided to use UPI transaction data to identify unregistered businesses. They flagged around 14,000 traders who had received digital payments that, according to them, crossed the GST registration limit. These vendors were sent notices, some demanding taxes going back to 2021 to 22. With dues ranging from thousands to even rupees 40 lakh. Just like that, what was once a simple digital payment became a potential tax liability. Now, very importantly, why is this happening now? Now here's the question everyone's asking. Why now? Why are small traders being scrutinized this way? The answer lies in Karnataka's ambitious revenue target. The state wants to collect rupees 1.2 lakh crore by 2025 to 26. At the same time, rupees 52,000 crore has already been committed to welfare schemes. And Congress MLAs are demanding more funds for roads, hospitals, housing and urban projects. To fill the gap, the tax department has been told to widen the tax base. That means bringing in more unregistered businesses, even if they are tiny food stalls or roadside vendors. And the easiest way to find them, UPI data. Clean, traceable and digital. But here's where the real trouble begins. Now let's understand the tax trap. Under GST law, if a trader's annual turnover crosses rupees 40 lakh for goods or 20 lakh for services, they must register and pay tax. But how do you calculate turnover? Well, the department used UPI transaction history alone. So if someone received rupees 3 to 4 lakh via UPI over a few months, the system scaled it to assume they crossed rupees 20 to 40 lakh annually and sent them a notice. But experts say that's a flawed method. Why? Because many vendors use one account for everything like business, personal and even family transfer. For example, a friend returning borrowed cash. All of it shows up in UPI. Can that really be considered as income? Well, under the GST law, the burden of proof lies with the department, not the trader. They must prove it's business income, not just assume. So now traders are asking, why are we being penalized just for going digital? Now talking about the panic that's getting viral. This panic didn't stay local. On social media, photos of stalls with signs like no UPI, only cash went viral. On X, Instagram and WhatsApp, people shared stories of vendors being harassed, receiving notices or removing QR codes. The same Bengaluru that once symbolized India's fine tech boom was now seen rejecting it. The public was shocked. Is this how we reward small vendors for embracing digital payments? Now the vendors react. They are going backwards. So as fear grew, traders started taking matters into their own hands. They stopped accepting UPI altogether. Why? Firstly, because cash doesn't leave a trail. Second, no records, no transaction history. Third, no data to be used against them later. So instead of risking a rupees 5 lakh notice from a digital trail, they are choosing cash. No paper, no proof, no panic. But isn't this exactly the opposite of what India wants? Wasn't Digital India about transparency, growth and ease of doing business? If the result of going digital is a government knock at your door, then who will want to scan a QR code ever again? So as the issue grew, politics wasn't far behind. BJP leaders like S. Suresh Kumar slammed the Congress government, accusing them of harassing small traders. In response, Karnataka Minister M.B. Patil defended the state's action while also hitting back at BJP state president by Vijayendra's criticism. Here's what he said.
ವಿಜೇಂದ್ರಗೆ ಕನಿಷ್ಠ ಒಂದು ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಇಲ್ವಾ? IT ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಬರ್ತದೆ? ರಾಜ್ಯ ಸರ್ಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ನೀವೇ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಡಿ, IT ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ರಾಜ್ಯ ಸರ್ಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಇಷ್ಟು ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಇಲ್ಲ. IT ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಸರ್ಕಾರದ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ನೋಟಿಸ್ ಕೊಡೋರು ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಸರ್ಕಾರ. ಅದು ನಮಗೆ IT ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ನಮಗೆ ರಾಜ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ
ರಾಜ್ಯ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ನೋಟಿಸ್ ಕೊಡಿಸ್ತದೆ ರಾಜ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕಚೇರಿಗಳ ಮೂಲಕ ಅಂತ ಅಧಿಕಾರಿಗಳ ಮೂಲಕ.
ಅಲ್ರಿ ನೀವೇ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಡಿ, IT ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಬರ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಡಿ. IT ರಾಜ್ಯ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಬರ್ತದೆ. CBI, ED, IT ಯಾರ ಕಡೆ ಬರ್ತದೆ? ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಸರ್ಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ತದ. ದುರುಪಯೋಗನ ಅವರೇ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತಿದಾರಲ್ಲ.
ಹಿಂಗೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ
ಅದವ್ರಿಗೆ IT ಯಾರು ಬಹುಶಃ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಡಿ IT ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಸರ್ಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ತದೆ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾತಾಡೋದು ಬರ್ರಿ. ಸುಳ್ಳು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಾಗೂ ಒಂದು ಮಿತಿ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸುಳ್ಳು ಹೇಳಾಗೂ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನಂಬುವಂಥ ಸುಳ್ಳು ಹೇಳ್ರಿ. IT ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ತಪ್ಪಾಗ್ತದೆ.
Now, legal experts, tax professionals and activists are also raising similar concerns. They say UPI should not be treated as a standalone income proof. Income must be determined with supporting documents, sales records, stock customers logs, not just raw bank credits. Small traders don't have chartered accountants or finance terms. How are they supposed to deal with multi-page GST notices with penalties from 2 years ago? This is why critics are calling this enforcement digital bullying, punishing the poor for using technology. And now the traders strike back and protest announced. But the issue isn't cooling off. Angry vendors have now organized themselves under a new forum led by the Karnataka Karmika Parishad KKP. They have declared first a 2-day strike on July 23 and 24. Second, a statewide shop bandh on July 25. Third, and if no action is taken, they have even threatened to stop selling essential goods like milk. The message is very clear. They won't back down unless the government listens. In response, Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, who also handles the finance department, has stepped in. He promised that the issue will be raised at the next GST Council meeting, and he has asked tax officials to talk to traders directly to resolve this. That's what led to the No GST campaign, but many says it's too little, too late. So lastly, where do we go from here? Let's take a step back. Everyone agrees tax compliance is important. The government needs revenue. Welfare schemes need funding. But there is a difference between widening the tax base and unfairly targeting street vendors, between using technology to help people and using it to scare them. UPI was supposed to make lives easier, but today it's making small traders vulnerable. So here's the real question. Do we want a digital India that lifts people up or one that pushes them out? Let's hope this panic leads to policy correction, not just PR campaigns. Now let us know your thoughts in the comments below and do subscribe to the Free Press Journal for all the stories that matters.